Most people go their whole lives and never actually live life. Most people go their whole lives and never fulfill the reason they were put on this earth. Most people go their whole lives and never achieve the dream life that they wanted. This is because they never live authentically. And there's a concept that comes around a lot at the moment, and that's authenticity versus acceptance. And this comes from an early age, from birth, where we as humans choose acceptance because if we don't, we won't fit the molds that our parents want of us. We might get put on the naughty step. We might get kicked out of the house. We might get told off. And there's a reward system when we're young that if you do something that your parents want or your parents see as right, you'll get rewarded. You'll get a treat. You'll get a snack. You'll get TV time. And then if you do something your parents don't like, you'll get punished, whatever that might be. And then that continues into going into primary education or going into early stage school or education. And you have to fit in or fit a mold in order to make friends because that's what feels safe. In your head, I just need friends. I need my mates. And the thing that goes wrong is that so many people never step out of this mold and continue it throughout their life. They'll get older into high school or higher education and they'll start fitting in. They'll start doing things in order to make friends, in order to fit the certain societal mold to look sick in that moment. And then they'll start drinking, they'll start going out and partying, they'll start not being themselves and doing things that aren't the truest version of themselves because it's getting wired into them. And they don't see any different. They think that that is them being themselves. And that's the problem. People don't open their eyes up to what is going on. And the thing is, if you do accept it and you see that you need to be more authentic, it feels so daunting because you've programmed your nervous system to make fitting in, to make going out drinking, going out partying as safe, as comfortable. Because authenticity feels like this big, daunting task. It feels like you're going to get judged, which you will be. You're going to get rejected, which you will be. You're going to get frowned on, which you will do. But this is the required steps in order to live out your dream life. You cannot live your dream life if you aren't authentic, full stop. I don't care what anyone says. Because your dream life requires you to be in alignment with your highest divine version of yourself. But the thing is that I really want to emphasize is that it doesn't take permission or it doesn't require permission to become authentic, to become that authentic version of you that I can see behind the camera. It takes no permission and you can do it. You can take action after watching this video and make the steps that are necessary. You can take the steps right now to start becoming the authentic version of yourself. And I'm going to tell you a story of myself that can help you see it in a different light, can help you rewire, can help you have a different perspective on becoming authentic. I was always an innocent kid growing up until around 16, really, when I went into sixth form or higher education, whatever it might be called, college. And I was always in my own bubble, my own authentic bubble. I was always being my purest authentic self. I just love watching Chelsea games. I was a massive N'Golo Kante fan, Eden Hazard fan for the football Chelsea fans out there. I love grinding. I love self-improvement. I remember it was lockdown time. I used to get up at 5 a.m. I'd slap on my motivational videos. It might be a bit of Goggins. It could be Chris Williamson, Stephen Bartlett. Could have been. I just there were so many people that I listened to that were motivational, and I had my own motivational blog. I was going for runs. I was playing football in the back garden. I was eating healthy. I was truly authentic in that moment. And then as I went into sixth form, college, I started to see other people having a lot of friends or having a lot of people around them. And for some reason, I wanted that. For some reason, I thought I should fit in. And I guess it's an experience that a lot of people go through and a lot of people have to realize, but they never truly understand that they have to step out of this. So what happened is that I remember I used to sit in this one class and I saw these group of people. They always used to go off after to have lunch together and they were always together and they seemed like they had a good bond. They seemed like they were laughing, joking. And I always used to remember seeing them when class ended, going off to lunch together. And I was always in the class, sat behind, packing my bag. And for some reason, that I felt lonely. I felt like that hit me. And I felt like I needed that. So what I started to do was I started to mold myself to fit what they would think as to be their friends or they would think to require me to be in that group or whatever it might be. So I started to go out drinking, which was never me and is never me. I started to go out partying. I started to spend time doing things that weren't me, being lustful, doing all these things that were not me. And it really took a detriment to my mental health. And the thing was that I didn't see the light. I didn't see the way out because I thought that was me. In that moment, I thought that was me. And I'm sure a lot of you watching right now might not be realizing that the version of you right now isn't you. It's not you. You have a mask over your face. You're covering up your heart. You're covering up your divine higher self, your alignment. You're covering it up. And it took external things to happen. It took the universe to shift me back into alignment for me to discover my authentic self again. And it took me to break my arm. It took me to fail my exams at school and have to resit, or otherwise I'd get kicked out. And I always say that every setback and challenge in life is just alignment to your purpose, to your higher self, to the things you're put on this earth to go after. And every time you can either choose to accept this and choose to take it as a sign from the universe, or you don't accept it and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So, have you ever had those moments where you just feel like you're getting beat up by life? It's just throwing so many things at you. That's because you're not listening to the signals. You're not listening to the things that are pushing you back into alignment to your purpose. And it took me to discover this. I started to lock in. I started to focus on myself again. I started to become more selfish. I started to say no to things that weren't me. I started to say yes to the things that were leading my heart to. I started to improve at school. I was leveling up the physical, the mental, and I smashed my school. And then to this point now, where I've truly discovered the authentic version of me, and I know that person, and I'm so pushed to purpose, to divine high energy, to becoming the highest frequency, highest divine version of myself. And I can't express enough that it is such a beautiful feeling because we are all different creatures. We are all one of one. And we have to live out our authentic lives. We have to live out our unique lives. That is why we're put on the earth. You are put on the earth to serve out a purpose. And I can't express this enough. I can't. So, what I'm trying to say is that we need to push authenticity. We need to express it in society from early ages. And I truly hope that that story of my journey so far, has given you hope, has given you hope that you can make the steps required to live the dream life, to live your dream life and be the most authentic version of you and be aligned with your divine highest power. And you might be asking, or you might be thinking, how can I do this? Because you're right, it feels daunting. Your brain, your nervous system is freaking out right now because you're like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna get judged. Oh my god, this is scary." So I get you. So I'm gonna give you a few steps right now on how you can start living authentically. And the first step is realizing that you're not living authentically. And that might seem weird, but the first step truly is to understand that the version of you that is masked up right now is not you. The version of you that is blocking or hiding the purest, highest divine version of yourself is not you. And once you start accepting that, you start realizing that, you start seeing the identity and the habits that you are performing. And I do say performing because you're performing, you're like a animal in a zoo performing. And once you realize that, that is the first step to putting in actionable things for you to move forward. Now, the second step is asking yourself or going into yourself and understanding what the purest version of you wants, what your purpose is, what you're meant to do, what feels right for you. And it could be the simplest things like building routines. It can be figuring out what business you want to start, finally starting understanding that you wanted to post on social media. And the thing I would recommend to do for this is visualization. Sit down and visualize with yourself. It might take 5 minutes to get into the zone. It might take 10 minutes. But when you truly sit with yourself and visualize the dream version of you, the exact life that you want, and you don't just Think of it in a material way. Truly sit with your heart and lead with your heart. Lead with love. And you'll start to understand where your authentic version of you wants to go, where it's going to blossom, where you're going to follow alignment and the path of purpose that you were put on the earth to do. And then the third step is to put this into small actionable steps. You don't have to take a gigantic jump straight away. No, you don't have to start building a business, posting on social media, following the perfect, you don't have to do everything at one go. No. Start posting on social media if that's what you wanted to do, and do that as your first thing. Then start working on the new business that you thought of doing. Then start working on saying no to things that you've been succumbing to. And that's probably the first step. The first actual step is saying no to things that aren't you and saying yes to where your heart wants to lead you. And then you can build up and build up and build up. It's like anything, it's going to take time. It's going to take time to progress. It's going to take time to develop, to get better. And you will do. And I believe that you will do. And once you start doing all these three steps, you will truly be back in alignment and you'll be with the most authentic version of you. Because I know I've said this already, but I really cannot express enough how important this is. And yes, look, authenticity is going to feel difficult. It's going to feel painful and it's going to feel stressful. You're going to get judged. People are going to hate on you. And you will move past the thing that is pulling you away from being authentic very easily once you start putting in these actionable steps. And whilst it might feel super daunting, super difficult, the bill of regret, the bill of a life not filled with purpose, not filled with alignment, and a life not aligned with the highest, most divine version of yourself is the most painful thing. So I urge you to choose the harder path right now. Choose the path of authenticity. Choose the path of becoming the best version of yourself and understanding that it will be worth it. And I believe in you. I believe in you that you can step out of societal molds. You can step out of your fear of judgment and you can become the best, most authentic version of you because your dream life does not begin once people approve of you. It begins when you have the courage to be real. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, authenticity is a gift.